Hello, lovely, and welcome to the practice. Before we get into it, I just wanted to gently remind you and officially invite you to the spring edition of the Craft and Stretch gathering happening in this community on May 18th at 6:45 p.m. EST. This is an online gathering that I started in the winter time, and it was such a success, and a lot of the members of the community had such a fun time that I thought that it would be great to bring it back for this spring. We are all creative, and if you happen to also consider yourself a sensitive soul, I'm sure that your creative practices are such a helpful support to your self-care journey of being the wonderful you that you are. So this online gathering is a way for you to tend to your craft-loving body, commit to your creativity, and do it with others who are on the same path. All the details and registration are found on my website, yogawithcarolynne.com/craft-and-stretch. Hope to see you there. Hello and welcome to Yoga with Carolynne. If it's your first time here, welcome. You have entered into the self-care journey through the chakras. And if you are like, what does that even mean? What is the self-care journey through the chakras? All the previous practices are found in the description box below. And please subscribe to the channel so that you can continue to walk alongside me and all the other members in this journey. If it's not your first time here, welcome back. Today, you are focusing on your heart chakra, the seat of, well, love, of sharing love, of receiving love, of unconditional love, contentment, connection, forgiveness, and feel-good feelings. So today, physically, you're going to be focusing on opening up this heart space, your shoulders, the front of your chest. And props you're going to want for today's practice are our usual props that we typically use, and also a yoga strap. If you don't have a strap, then you can use a bathrobe tie or a long scarf like I've got here. So please put on your comfy clothes, roll out your yoga mat, grab all of your props, and let's get started. Welcome to Yoga with Carolynne, teaching empaths and sensitive souls just like you how to create a collaborative relationship with your body through cozy, accessible yoga and self-care practices in order to live a life filled with less doing and more being. You're going to be starting today's practice in a comfortable seat. So please make sure that you grab whatever props that will help really make sure this shape feels comfortable. I myself have a meditation cushion underneath of my sit bones, but maybe that's a pillow, a bolster, a folded up blanket, and maybe you've even got a blanket across your lap, just because extra coziness is never a bad thing. And please make sure that you have your strap nearby. You're going to be using that in a few moments once we begin to find some movement, because we're going to be moving through one of my favorite shoulder opening movements. So allow your hands to please settle onto your lap, onto your knees. You take a moment to feel your sit bones settle into the floor, lengthen into the spine, and your eyes close. If it doesn't feel comfortable to have your eyes closed, they can absolutely stay open, but just bringing in some softness into your gaze so that you can allow your awareness to shift from an external focus to an internal connection. You let yourself arrive. No matter what the theme is that you're exploring in your practice today, it is essential to give yourself time and space to welcome the you that is going to be practicing the theme, moving through the poses of the theme, that you to be welcomed in, no matter how it is that you are feeling. Entering into this space, into your sacred container of your practice, where you are held, where you are welcome, where you are enough, and you are loved exactly as you are. No matter what your experience is during your practice today, let it be exactly as it is. Whatever emotions bubble up, whatever sensations present themselves, you are here and it is perfect. You don't have to change or fix any of it. Beginning to bring some attention to the theme of today's practice. I'll invite you, if it would feel comfortable to do so, to pick up into your hands and place your palms face down onto your heart. Maybe it's directly above your heart or in the center of your chest. As you bring your attention to this space, and you might even feel your heartbeat beneath your hands, you'll allow your breath to move in and out of this space as you feel my words wash over you and enter into your awareness. Your heart chakra, anahata in Sanskrit, is located right here where your hands are. This is the seat of love, of unconditional love, of receiving love, of sharing love, of forgiving, of acceptance, of contentment, of connection, of expansion. Its color is green, and its element is air. Invite in a few more deep breaths in this space as you sense into how it's feeling. Maybe what it needs to share with you or what it's asking for you to feel. Love is such an interesting concept, right? Because it's the essence of everything. It's the basis of everything. But we can't see it. And it's almost hard to describe. It is essential for it to be felt in order for it to be understood. So let yourself feel your way through your practice today. The mind can kind of take a back seat for today's practice. The mantras or affirmations that I've chosen for today's practice that you can repeat to yourself now and at any point during the practice that you would benefit from the added reminder are: I receive love. I share love. I am love. We'll begin to bring some movement into the body. You'll drop the hands down, and your movement is going to be in the spine and also in the arms. So as you take an inhale, you're coming into your seated cow pose. So you allow your heart to shine forward, but you'll bring your arms into it. So your arms reach out and expand out towards the side as your palms open towards the front of your space. You can bring your eyes to a close. As you exhale, you come into your opposite shape in your spine. So your seated cat pose. Reach the fingertips to the side and to the front of you. Move slowly here. As you take an inhale, you open your body up, you expand, you take up space, coming into this very open, receiving shape. As you exhale, you turn inwards, you collapse, you bow down. Keep going, letting this feel good. And if already you're sensing into some emotions or sensations bubbling up, let yourself feel them, receive them. You'll come back into stillness, allowing your hands to settle onto your lap. Your spine comes back into its aligned long position. Take a few deep breaths here in this space, noticing if you feel any shifts in the body after that movement. Then if the eyes are closed, you'll softly open up into the eyes and grab hold of your strap. You'll open up the strap in a position where your arms are in a nice big V shape. If you practiced last week's class, the solar plexus chakra, even if you didn't, I'll just kind of mention this here because we're kind of building on top of each previous practice. I'll ask that during this movement, you stay really connected to your center, because sometimes when we focus on opening up the heart, we have a tendency to want to fan the ribs open and find this like big arch to the back. But we're focusing less on the back and more on the shoulders and the upper chest. So bring your belly button in towards your spine. Feel the outer sides of your torso hugging in towards the center line. And you've got a nice neutral pelvis, neutral low back. So just something to be mindful of, and I'll remind you once we continue to move. Your arms are open, and you'll take an inhale to reach the hands up towards the sky. As you exhale, the hands reach back and all the way down. So if you need to widen your hands, please do that. And this would be kind of the moment where you might notice you begin to expand forward. So maintain length in your spine, hug your belly button in, and allow the hands to drop all the way down. That's your movement for the next few deep breaths. So take your time. There's no needing to rush through this. Actually, the slower that you go, the more you'll be able to really feel your way through it and get aware, or become aware of rather, the sensations to be felt in your shoulders and in the front of your chest. The next time your hands come in front of you, you will allow the position of your hands to get a little bit more narrow than they just were. And then you'll take an inhale to reach the hands up. And we're aiming for a position in the arms where you wouldn't be able to bring the hands all the way back and down. So there's like a stickiness or a stuckness that begins to happen in your shape. And then I'm going to give you a few options here in terms of how you can explore, and then I'll let you explore and feel your way through. So option one, stay right here. Maybe you're already feeling like a shaking, lots of sensation happening in the shoulders and the front of your chest. Perfect, then feel that and stay here. If you would like, you can also, or you can bend into the elbows, pull the elbows back. This will bring the stretch a little bit more into the front center of your chest. You can also move, or you can find a variation involving all of these options. So you can find some movement from right to left, bending, straightening. You can also bring a little bit of like twisting. So now that you know what the options are, if it feels safe to do so, I'd invite you to close your eyes. Feel your way through. Pay attention. Give yourself attention. It's a really kind of vulnerable and intimate experience to pay attention to what your body needs. It's a practice of self-love. You'll release, bring the arms down, and you can toss the strap to one side. We won't be needing it anymore. Allow the hands to settle onto your lap or your knees. eyes closed for a moment if that feels okay, so that you can sense into what you're feeling. You might feel some tingly sensations or some warmth in some areas of the body. And then moving slowly, you'll bring yourself into tabletop position, coming onto your hands and your knees, please. You're welcome to place a blanket underneath of your body the way that I've got my mat set up here, because you're going to be on your knees for the next few poses. Your blocks are near the front end of your space, if you do have blocks, because they might be helpful for the next position. So you'll bring yourself up onto your knees, just because this is a way that's really accessible to step forward into a lunge. Your right foot steps forward, and you can grab hold of your blocks or have your hands on the floor or hands on hips as you position yourself into your grounding low lunge. Right knee above right ankle, your left knee feels supported. It doesn't feel painful, so that would mean maybe you've got a blanket or folded up left side of your mat under your knee. And then you bring yourself up. We're going to be finding some movement in your body. So as we've been walking along this journey together, we've started at the foundation, we're moving up, right? So the same applies in your poses. So you feel your foot and your leg connect to the floor. You get really connected into your center, so belly button in towards spine, lengthen into the low back. And then from here, you reach the fingertips up towards the sky. We're going to be finding movement here, again, that's just kind of like feeling your way through instead of getting it really perfect. You'll take an inhale to reach the fingertips up, and then as you exhale, you bend into the elbows, you're expanding, opening the heart forward and up. And then the hands come down, then they sweep forward, and then up again, and then they bend again. So it's this really kind of windswept, circular, fluid, expansive movement with the arms. You can even kind of move the legs up and down, bending a little bit less or a little bit more within this movement. Your eyes can close if balance is there for you today, or they can stay open, but just with like a softness to them. I receive love. I share love. I am love. Next time your hands come forward and down, you can press the right leg back, bring the right knee down. Maybe your hands are on blocks, or you bring yourself up again and you step the left foot forward. Coming into your low lunge, just as you set up your foundation, you take your time, there's no rush. Then once you find that foundation in your body, knee above ankle, the left knee above ankle rather, and the right knee is cushioned, you then bring yourself up into your shape. Again, work from the ground up. So tip the pelvis in a way where your belly button in towards spine, low back is long. Reach the hands up towards the sky. And then when you feel ready, you know the movement, you know what you're doing. You take an inhale to reach, find length, and then bend into the elbows as you shine your heart forward and up. The slower that you move, so again, you'll hear me say that a lot, the slower that you move, the more subtle the sensations are, the more you can really sense into all the tiny little movements that happen in each and every moment of the movement. You can even, if there's one shape that feels really good, that feels expansive in a good way, then hang out there. Take an extra breath or two there. Feel your way through your practice. Let yourself be led by the wisdom of your heart. The next time your hands come forward, you'll step the left foot back. From here, you're gonna find a little bit of a stretch again in the shoulders, and then we'll bring some stillness into the body after this next shape. Blocks are in front of you in their medium height, right? So this would be first height, second height, third height. So in your second height, because this will be a stabilizing position for the blocks, you're gonna keep your hips above your knees, relatively-ish above your knees for this movement. And you'll bring the backs of your elbows onto the blocks. Palms and the hands connect. You're really sticking your butt up in the air here. Maybe isn't the most graceful shape. And then you allow your head to drop down in between the blocks. This shape is probably going to be felt in the backs of your upper part of your arm, in your shoulders, maybe in the front of your chest or the sides of your ribs. Let your belly get soft, your heart get soft here. Your head drops. And then you'll release out of this shape by bringing yourself up. And then bringing yourself into seated with the legs in front of you. You can bring your blocks with you. As you can see, I'm bringing my blocks because the last shape you're finding in today's practice is supported fish. If you know it and you have your favorite version of coming into this shape, then please make your way into the shape. If you're new to supported fish, I'll give you a few different options, and then I'll invite you to come into stillness. So there's lots of different ways that you can practice this shape. I'll show you from the blocks to the bolster. So first, if you just have one block, you can use one block in behind your shoulder blades, and then your head comes down onto the floor. If your head doesn't connect with the floor, then your second block or a pillow is a nice option to come underneath of the head. So creating this kind of T shape in your positioning of your blocks. So using the blocks is a little bit more of like a bigger shape, I would say. And it also gives your low back the opportunity to really just release entirely. So this is a great option. So this is option 1 with your arms in a T shape. Or option 2, I guess, rather. If you're using the bolster, I'd say this is my personal favorite way to practice this shape. So if you're using the bolster, you either are just using the bolster or you're using a bolster and a cushion. So you can place the cushion at the top end of your space and then bolster on top of that. If you don't have the cushion, then it's just the bolster down on the floor. And then if you have your blocks underneath of your knees in diamond shape is also a really nice option. They don't have to be in this shape though. They can just be legs long or legs bent, soles of the feet on the floor. And then you bring yourself down onto this prop building structure that you've created for yourself. So again, like I mentioned, the blocks would be the version that you would choose if you come into this version using the bolster and it feels really uncomfortable for your low back, then use the blocks instead so that your low back isn't creating this like big arch to it. Arms are open at a T shape, either just like directly out or a little bit softer. Arms might be a bit closer to your body or up overhead. But the most important part here is that your entire body is supported, from your feet to your knees, to your hips, to your spine, to the back of your head, and to your arms, including your elbows. So elbows are touching the floor. And I'm going to let you enjoy a few minutes here of stillness. As you continue to breathe into this heart space and you let yourself feel and notice, be present to whatever bubbles up, whatever is to be felt. Offering yourself, please, so much compassion, kindness, gentleness, and love. to release out of this shape, you'll roll onto the right or the left side of the body. Using your right arm as a pillow and your knees coming close as you turn in towards yourself, and you take a few moments to send your breath towards the back line of your heart space, your heart chakra. Then you press yourself up into your seat. Bringing the hands into heart center, pressing the palms together. Eyes are closed for this very last moment of your practice. We'll end today's practice with those mantras or affirmations that have been carrying you through, and then we'll end with one last breath together. I receive love. I share love. I am love. Please inhale and exhale at the mouth. Softly opening up into the eyes. Thank you so much for practicing this heart chakra yoga practice with me. I hope that today's practice was supportive. If you enjoyed today's practice, please let me know in the comments below, or share this practice with a friend that you think would really benefit from this practice. As always, it's so lovely to put these practices together for you. I'm really enjoying the self-care journey through the chakras, so I look forward to us being able to connect again in next week's practice.